Our guest today is Jessica Fisher. I met Jessica this year while we were co-partners on collective data for the Purina issue
Yeah.
with the Saving One Pet at a Time. And I had never been blessed by Jessica Fisher. She was amazing at data collecting and being efficient. I was really in awe of her abilities. And
Oh,
so I've been following her on TikTok and she comes up with some really great reels. She has a podcast. She interviews all the top pet professionals on the Great Pet Parent Reset, right?
the pet parenting reset.
I
It's
always want to say the great. I don't know why.
well, it is great. No.
It is great. It is. And so let me hold on, you guys. Let me grab the Facebook's link and move it over to the membership too, so I can see you guys and see your comments. So give me a second here. Jessica's actually got a slideshow.
I do. Do so people can join the Zoom and people can watch on Facebook. Oh, yay.
Yeah. So members can always join live if they want to ask you questions directly, or I can translate via Facebook comments. And our membership is kind of cool. Like it's mostly pet professionals and proactive pet parents. And we just go through all things animal holistic. Often people who are in the pro space get to add modalities, techniques from the membership when we interview people. They learn new things and they get to add it to their practice. So that is
Yay.
super cool. And
Awesome.
yeah. And hold on, I see us live. Yay.
I'm excited to talk cats today.
Oh, I'm so grateful. You don't even know. I don't know anything about cats. I have a barn cat and that's like it. So, and my barn cat is like pretty self-sustained. She does eat a freeze-dried raw diet most of the time. And because I tried to feed her raw and she was really good about eating raw, but it attracted vermin and vermin wanted to kill her. So I had to change that. And so it attracted a lot of meat bees and whatever critters eat meat that were not friendly to cats. And so the
Oh,
dehydrated or freeze dried food is working out really great for her.
oh
But
yeah.
yeah. So you guys, if you're watching live on Facebook, of course, say hello. And Jessica, where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Virginia, the Hampton Roads area. I've lived in a few places, notably San Diego for 8 years, and now I've been just north of Austin, Texas for 3 years. So all over the place. It seems I'm just from all over.
And you just went to the AFCO meeting, right?
I was just at AFCO in San Antonio the week before Super Zoo. Yes, and who knows, that might be the last one. We'll find out soon. Um, I
The last AFCO meeting
maybe, maybe
for
uh,
you or for AFCO?
for AFCO for the FDA for their time together. It's a very interesting time. And I'm very, very, very blessed that Dr. Kathy Alanovi, who runs Next Generation Pet Food Manufacturing, has been so welcoming to me and getting to, the behind the scenes of what's going on in pet food. So, yay.
Amazing. So what is going on?
Well, the FDA has decided they are not renewing what they call an MOU with AFCO. So for 100 years, AFCO has been charged with um, defining and proposing what they then give to the FDA, who then puts it into regulation. So defining ingredients in pet food, feed, mostly feed, let's, be real. And then the FDA says, yep, this is all good. We're going to accept this, sends it out to the states, and then the states then get to decide if they're going to adopt it as regulation or not. And there are 12 states that have on their books in their laws that they just automatically adopt whatever updates come from AFCO. The other states pick and choose what they want to adopt from AFCO or not. And the FDA, because the FDA is the actual regulatory body, has decided that, and this is kind of all hinging on whether or not the PUR Act passes in Congress, but it looks like it's going to. But they don't want to renew that with AFCO. So they're pretty much saying, like, thanks for all of your hard work. We don't need you anymore. I mean, they're always at the AFCO meetings, and they did make a statement that they are committed to continuing their relationship, just in ways that have not yet been defined. So we'll see how that works out.
Wow. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I mean, both good and bad. Like, there's so much on either side. Because small manufacturers who are doing things right, the companies that you and I know and love, it's going to give them room to do the things that they know is right, without being kind of tied down by previous legislation or, previous recommendations from AFCO that states had adopted. But on the other hand, it's also going to give the big players the same leeway to do all the things we don't want them to do.
Well,
So,
everybody that's in the FDA pocket, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, Jessica is the reason why I got to go to Super Zoo. So Super Zoo, you just can't go to Super Zoo. You actually have to apply. And I got declined. And Jessica let me be her plus one on her Super Zoo account. So thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
such a crazy experience. I'd never experienced Super Zoo ever in my life. And I will probably do it again, but I will be more prepared next time because I was not prepared for what
It's
I.
like more than three football fields. You cannot get through. You have to have a plan of attack going in. And I had a plan of attack, and I had my booths that I wanted to visit, and I still didn't get to them. And it was a very small number, and I still didn't get to them all in 3 days. So
I know. Well, you know what? One of my goals is to get more guest speakers for this platform, and I actually got that done. So I have a whole new lineup of guest speakers coming, you guys. So that is super exciting. And met some awesome people, partied with Inside Scoop and Crazy Cat Ladies, and that was a blast. And saw some new products coming out. This was one of them, you guys. This bracelet blocks pain. It's a pain blocking bracelet. And it was kind of expensive. I tore my bicep the week before going to Super Zoo, and I couldn't clean my stalls very well. I couldn't do anything. I ripped the bicep off the bone. And so they clipped this thing on me. I was looking for modalities, right? Healing modalities. I didn't see a lot of healing modalities there, but I saw this booth and they're like, come on, try this. I'm like, oh, whatever. And so I go over there and they clip this thing on me and all my pain went away. And I
wow.
was just like, what is this? What sorcery is this? And and I took it off and the pain kind of came back and I put it back on and it made me like 10 times stronger than I naturally am. Like it made me like a superhero. And so of course I bought it and then I bought one for my dog. And so fun fact, I had to buy like three for my dog as a bracelet or a necklace and it shrunk. You guys know my dog has a impingement in the facial nerve and it shrunk it and his eye got more normal and his nose got more normal. Now the downside is he can get his foot caught in there and get caught up in it And I don't know if you can like clip it off and on and have it just maintain that benefit. But he motored around the whole property more than he has in a year yesterday. So that has been a blast. I'm going to reach out to that company for you guys, see if they'll come on and do a Facebook Live with us and
Wow.
check it out. But I'm gonna try it on the horses too. You know me, I'm like the mad scientist of holistic. So, Jessica, you've got a slideshow for us, and you are a cat woman, which I am not. I am no cat woman. I have a barn cat, and I do occasionally muscle test for people for their cats, but I am just at a loss of information for cats. So please educate us. I did see a
Yeah.
TikTok reel. You guys, she has a fun TikTok channel. So on her TikTok reel, she mentioned about how there's like something in vaccines that cause more urinary disturbances in cats. What was that? That blew me away.
So it was actually, I think I was talking about kidney disease. So a lot of, or some vaccines, specifically the rabies vaccine for cats, is grown on cat kidney cells. So, and this is actually from something I learned from Dr. Will Falconer, that they're grown on cat kidney cells. So when we inject it into the cat, we're kind of training the body to, in addition to looking out for and creating immunity for rabies, to also attack their own kidney cells because that's what it's grown on.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And
Really
do they
interesting.
care or do they not care? That is
I
uh,
don't think they care. I don't think they care. I don't think they look at it the way that people in the holistic world look at it, right? Because we have a whole, WHOLE, like we look at everything, or at least we try to. And they don't, right? They have one thing they're studying, and that's all that matters to them. And it's very much like I equate it very much to like our dental care. I when I was growing up, my dentist there most dentists today, I think, that are traditionally trained, like they don't see how the mouth is connected to the rest of the body, right? Like they're doing root canals and like all of these things they're doing, they don't look at how it affects the rest of the body. And I think that's how a lot of our science is today. They're not looking at how everything affects everything else. It's just, this is the problem, this is the solution I found for this one problem, and they're not looking at how it, all of the side effects and all of the things that can go wrong outside of it. And that's what I think is going on.
I agree. Unfortunately, they take it's the whole system. The conventional medical system is the GI tract, a gastroenterologist, a pulmonary specialist, and nobody looks at the body as a whole unless you're in functional medicine, holistic medicine, and whole health is what we should be preaching. And that's why we have jobs.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you want me to
please do.
share my, I can try to,
And you guys, while Jessica's queuing up her screen, I wanted to let you know that Purina had a huge booth at Super Zoo. It was like four booths put into one. Not a single soul was there. They had a bunch of salespeople, and it was a ghost town. I was like, ah, yes.
I think attendance was down this year anyway. They really, well, as you noticed, they really cracked down on attendance, and it was definitely not as well attended as it has been in previous years. Um,
Everybody said day one was crazy, which I didn't go day one because I thought that would happen. And day two was not bad.
yeah, it wasn't at all. Yeah, I think day one was probably the busiest. Can you see my
I
screen? Or
can't.
you can? Okay.
Yes.
So I actually originally put this together for Jay and Adrian. And when I was like, you know what? Just on a whim, decided to talk on separation anxiety in cats. And when I got into it, what I realized, and the one thing, if nobody takes anything else away from what I'm telling you today is that us cat people, we want to see cats on labels. We want to see, like, when somebody is talking about whatever it is, whether it's behavior or health or whatever they're talking about, we want to see that pretty picture of a cat. And the reality is that yes, cats are a different species from dogs. However, most things that people talk about in the dog world is applicable to cats. So don't discount the information that you're getting from dog people, dog pages, and think, oh, well, that doesn't apply to my cats because they're different. They are different, but I promise you, 98 probably percent of it is applicable to our cats because I kind of got into this whole world through learning how to deal with my dog's separation anxiety. And as I started going down the rabbit hole of separation anxiety in cats, it's so similar. Not necessarily in like behavioral modification. I mean, we can train cats very much the same way that we train dogs. It's just not widely accepted. And I am a positive reinforcement trainer, so that is exactly the same thing I would do with my cats that I would do with my dogs. But when we're looking at like the actual emotions and what is going on behind the scenes with our cats, it is very much the same as dogs, and possibly worse because our dogs now, Poppy, your cat is a barn cat, so they have access to the outdoors all the time, but most cats don't. So it's very possibly worse for our cats because they are kind of confined indoors all the time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. And if I don't get through all of these slides because there's so much information, because I'm going to talk a lot more than just separation anxiety, but it's all relative, it's all relevant. If I don't get through everything, I can give you a link where your members can download all of this in a PDF, and that way they have it. So, our cats, I think, can experience separation anxiety in very much the same way that our dogs do, and possibly even worse. So our dogs get to go outside and they get to walk in the grass and they hopefully are getting like sniff walks and doing all of the things and they're touching hopefully healthy soil. Our cats often don't have this, so it can be worse for them. So what we're looking for in our cats, if they are experiencing separation anxiety, we've got excessive vocalization. They may not eat or drink while you're away. This happens, like you might get a notification from your pet sitter, like, oh, your cat didn't eat breakfast today. Well, okay, they're sad, right? That you're gone. They may be inappropriately urinating or defecating outside of the litter box, vomiting, excessive self-grooming, which is one of the most fascinating things because so many things can cause excessive grooming in cats. But I mean, so many other things can be going on, and we all talk about how like cats are not those. I'm not, greeting you at the door. Well, some cats are. Like some cats really enjoy your company. And so when their behavior, their attitude, their behavior, their mood is different, we really want to pay attention to that. So some of the things I really like to do, no matter what is going on, if your cat does or does not, if you think they do or do not have separation anxiety, I want your cats to be able to look outside if they're not getting time outside, because let's be real, like how many of us are really in a position to put a catio on our home? Um, and I love, Poppy, that your cat gets to live outside as much as they do. I think that's amazing for cats. Somebody like me that lives in a neighborhood with, cars running up and down the street in front of the house and who knows what wild animals, like that's to me, it's for my cats, it's not a safe environment to do that. And I think most people are in that situation. So having different options for them is really important. So I want the cats to be able to look outside, but I also don't want to frustrate them. So there are like little bird feeders and things that you can attach to windows. I think that can be really frustrating for our cats. And so I don't necessarily want to do that, but I do want to I want them to be able to look outside. I want them to be able to smell the outdoors. I want them to be able to feel the breeze coming through the screen and the window. Um, Toys are so important, but not just any toys. Toys that you are interacting with your cat to use are some of the most important things we can do for them. And letting your cat hunt for food. So I like to encourage play and feeding together because I want your cat to go through the whole sequence of like stalking their prey. So I want them to see something that is enticing them, that is making them get really low and like wiggle their butt like cats do. And I want them to stalk whatever toy that you are playing with them with. I want them to be able to like pounce and not always catch it, but catch it maybe 1 out of every 3 times, because that's going to be like on average what a cat that lives outdoors is going to be able to do is catch what they're hunting, maybe 1 out of every 3 to 5 times. And then when you're done with that playtime, feed them or give them that treat. So you're engaging them through the entire prey stalking sequence, and then they get that satisfaction of catching their prey and eating. Um, I also like to hide food throughout the house for your cats to find. That can be like really good, especially if you're like leaving them for long periods of time when you go to work, so that they have something engaging to do. This is very similar to like what we do with our dogs, and giving them enrichment. So enrichment is something that we just don't talk enough about with cats. Boxes are also really, really important for cats. And I don't know, like I will literally see, I went to the big cat rescue in Florida one time, and like literally these giant lions and tigers are sitting in huge cardboard boxes. There's something about cardboard. I think it's like that it kind of contains the heat, their body heat a little bit. They feel safe. They love, I mean, I have so many cat beds, it's not even funny. And my cats, I go out there and I'm always finding they're in boxes. Like they're not in their beds, they're in boxes. So safe spaces for them. Playing with your cat every day. If you can get them outside supervised, please do that. I am that crazy person that I will like buy organic soil and fill up a litter box with organic soil so that my cats can touch healthy soil. And I know that's not like, it's not going to clump, it's not going to do all the things that cat litter traditionally does. And we'll talk a little bit more about cat litter in a bit. But I mean, it is so important for those healthy microbes that are in the soil for your cat to be able to touch them and get them on their paws. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Let them play. I mean, clean it up. Who cares? Just clean it up when they're done and let them like have some enrichment. Species appropriate food, which I'm sure Poppy talks about all of the time. Our cats are obligate carnivores, and that means that there are a number of amino acid profiles that they cannot make on their own. They have to get them from their food, and that means that they need to be eating meat. Um, Opting for natural, so alternatives to flea and tick medications, titer testing after kitten vaccinations. I, because I am not a veterinarian, I am a nutritionist and a pet health coach. I don't like to tell people what to do with vaccines, but I like to refer people to Dr. Lori Kozier at the Healthy Dog Workshop for her puppy and kitten vaccine recommendations, because I think she is more conservative on the more conservative side. We're going to space these out. We're not going to give them at such an early age. And then once they get their puppy or kitten vaccines, then we can titer test after that. And all of these things are important to their mental health as well as their physical health. Like we were just talking about the vaccines being grown on feline kidney cells, like that is incredibly detrimental to, if we think about the top things that plague our cats, it is urinary and kidney issues. And well, urinary, kidney, and respiratory. So I would say urinary because most of our cats are eating a dry food diet and they are not built, like they just don't drink water. If you have a cat that drinks water, you have an exception to the rule. And kidney and respiratory issues. So I think a lot of the kidney issues extend from the urinary issues also the over vaccination. And then the respiratory issues, I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they don't get outside. They've got the litter dust, they've got environmental pollutants where they're not going out to off gas like we and our dogs are. And so it is very much environmental, and that affects their mental health as well. So some of the supplements that I really like for our cats, specifically when we are talking about anxiety, is going to be CBD, a full spectrum hemp extract is really what I want to call it, because not just any CBD will do. We want to make sure that we are getting everything that Mother Nature put in that plant. It is there and combined together for a reason. And some of the tips that I have for getting CBD into a cat, because it's not always easy to get something in them orally, is to put the tincture on on the palm of your hand and rub their paws into it, because their paws are going to absorb. They're incredible for absorbing any and everything, which is also one of the reasons why the kitty litter you choose is so important, because they're going to absorb it through their paw pads. You can also take and like a little essential oil bottle that has a roller ball on the top, and put your full spectrum hemp in there and put it roll it on their like ear pinna. That's another really great way for them to absorb that full spectrum hemp. I'm also a really huge fan of essential oils, and this is a hot topic, especially with cats. But if we are using veterinary grade essential oils, I like Animalio. This is the line that I use for me, for my dog, for my cats. I'm very comfortable with it because I think Dr. Shelton does an amazing job of testing and researching and sourcing her essential oils. Kitty Boost is one of my favorite blends that she makes. I literally use this for my cats and my dogs and for me. In fact, I use this on my abdomen when I'm cramping, and it's like gold. Um, Using things like the Relaxo Pet speaker. The Two Crazy Cat Ladies have a line of supplements that I am just head over heels obsessed for. I don't think anything in their line is not worth trying. They do have specifically a blend that is called Cat Calm, that is very beneficial for helping reduce anxiety. And all their entire line is natural, so I can't say enough good things about their line. One other thing that I think is really interesting is that I've been getting into a lot more recently are medicinal mushrooms. And Clarity is one that they have. Again, they have it with a dog label, they have it with a cat label. And if I can give you any one piece of advice, like if you happen to decide you like me and I resonate with you and you want to follow me, something that I do is I am very open about choosing my first choice for a product. If I'm going to buy a supplement, it needs to be something that I can take, that my dog can take, and that my cats can take. If that's not the case, you are like, you're losing stars. And so even though they have a dog on one label and a cat on another label, it's the exact same thing. But people like to see their pet on the label. And so that just is what it is. And if you're that kind of person, great, wonderful. If you're not, I take horse. I take horse CBD, and I give my dog and my cats horse CBD in much smaller quantities because it's more potent. But I get more bang for my buck when I buy it that way, because I don't care that it has the picture of a horse on the label. But Clarity specifically is really great for mental health, working with the nervous system and everything like going on in the brain. So that's good for anxiety. But what I will say, because we've been talking so much about kidney health, and I also brought in respiratory health for our cats, there's another blend that Myco Dog or Myco Cat has, and it is called Breathe. And it specifically has cordyceps mushrooms in it. And cordyceps are amazing for both respiratory health and kidney health. So even if your cat is not experiencing any sort of anxiety, but you are interested in trying mushrooms, at least try cordyceps or something that has cordyceps in it, because I think that is something that I'm starting to recommend to every one of my cat clients, because That's what they have the most issues with. And so another thing, being a trainer, something that I talk a lot about is behavior, is about body language. So learning your cat. And I think most of us are pretty good at this. If you're on this call, if you're watching this, you're probably pretty good at understanding all of your cat's different meows, all of your dog's different barks. That is something that is really important. And journaling. Oh my gosh, journal. I will not, like, journaling is another hill I will die on. Please don't start more than one supplement at a time, so you know what's going on and how these things are affecting your animals. You know if they're working, if they're not working. But something that people don't think enough about when they think about cats is that they are literally little tigers in your home. They're both prey and predator. And so, because they're prey for a lot of big animals, they're really, really good at hiding when they don't feel well, when something is wrong. I literally just had 2 weeks ago to let one of my cats go. He had osteosarcoma, and I did not know he had it until he fractured his leg. And that, I mean, he was such a trooper walking around on a fractured leg. I mean, I did everything I could with CBD and THC and adaptogens to help with inflammation and pain. Probably too much because he thought he was Superman, but um, that, I mean, it goes to show you like just how strong our cats are and how much they do not want to show when they are hurting or in pain. And so if your cat is hiding, if they are not out in the open like they normally would be, if they're not asking for pets like they normally would be, that really is a very strong indication. You need to be paying attention to it because it's very instinctual for them to not show that they're weak. But also, they are like nature's perfect hunter. And we need to acknowledge that in our cats, and we need to provide them every opportunity to act out those natural instincts as hunters. So they're also very scent oriented. And this goes back into that whole anxiety thing. But even if your cat doesn't have anxiety, they are very scent motivated. If you have multiple cats and you've ever taken one cat to the vet and brought them back home and your other cats now hate that cat, it's because they don't smell like they're supposed to smell. They don't smell like the home anymore. They smell like the vet's office. So scent swapping is something that can also be very beneficial. Even if you only have one cat, take some sort of cloth. It can be an old sock, it can be a towel or a blanket, and rub along their cheeks or like the back of their paws, anywhere that they like. If you pay attention to a cat, they're always rubbing their cheeks against something because they're marking it, they're putting their scent on it. So that's a really great place to like rub a cloth. And then when they get back home, you can rub it back on them. So you're putting their scent back on them. It's also a really great way to do introductions with new cats, but that's kind of outside of what we're talking about today. Vertical spaces, scratching posts are so important for cats. Again, being both prey and predator, they want to get up really high, and we need to give them every opportunity to do that. We want to give them opportunity. We always want to make sure they have multiple like exit strategies, especially if you have a multi-cat home or a bipedal home where they need to get away from a dog or some other animal. But being able to get up on top of things, even if it's just like on top of your cabinets or the refrigerator, let them do it. In my opinion, let them do it. And give them multiple outlets for scratching. I think every cat also has different preferences for scratching. I certainly see different preferences in the cats that I have now and the cats that I've had in the past. Some of them literally love to like claw and scratch on really like fluffy carpeting. Some of them like sisal, some of them like cardboard. Give them a variety of things, and always give. I also, some of them like some of them like scratching posts or boards that are like on the floor. Others want to stretch. So it's really, really natural. We need to let them stretch. Like if we can put something, if you look at how like tall your cat is when they stretch it out, make sure you have something that's at least that tall so they can really like activate all of their muscles and get all of their stretches in and work out all of their um what am I thinking? What am I thinking of? Joints.
Their biceps, triceps, joints.
Work all of their joints out. So important for our cats because we should be trimming our cats' claws, but they also will naturally shed their claws as long as they have the opportunity to do so with scratching surfaces. I also have a cat that really, really likes to scratch on yoga mats, so don't be afraid to try like different things with them. Oh, and litter boxes. Litter boxes are so important and can cause so much anxiety if we're not getting the litter and litter boxes and litter box placement right in the home. Um, Rule of thumb is to have at least one more litter box than the number of cats you have. I also want them spread out around the house if at all possible to give them options, especially if you have multiple levels in your home, so that they always have a place to go. Um, I want them to be able, again, exit, making sure that they have multiple exit strategies. This is one of the reasons why I don't like enclosed litter boxes, but the number one rule when it comes to anything litter box is that your cat uses it and your cat is okay with it. So don't necessarily go by me, go by what your cat wants and what they're willing to put up with and not put up with. But multiple like avenues to exit a room. I don't want it near anything that's like noisy. So like in a laundry room where like I don't know, you can the dryer suddenly goes off and it freaks them out, and now they have anxiety around going in the litter box because it scared the bejesus out of them, right? Um, I also want litter that is as close to natural as possible. I think this is really hard, and this is one of the things I always look for at Super Zoo. And I'm always very, very disappointed. I don't want clay. I don't want silica. I don't know what the heck they're putting in Pretty Litter, and they won't tell anybody, so I'm not even going to try it. Um, I currently use a grass litter, but the reality with grass, wheat, wood, any of that is that like it probably has some sort of herbicide or pesticide on it. And so there's like no, honestly, no really good option for litter at the moment, unless your cat will use like a pellet litter. None of my cats will use pellet litter. If they do, there's a hemp option, there's a green tea option, which I think is really cool. Um, but I saw one this year at Super Zoo that's made from olive pits that I'm going to look into. For
I saw
me,
one
again, really,
made out of soy.
yeah. Oh, I've seen a ton of soy ones too, and tofu. Yeah, tofu and soy. And I'm like, there is no way because the cats with their paw pads and soaking everything up, the amount of estrogen they're going to be getting from the soy, and no, not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So, but the reality is there is no great option unless you're literally going and getting like organic soil and putting it in their litter boxes, which is not going to clump, but you know, you do you. I wouldn't be above trying it. I think I have tried it. One thing I used to like was the coconut litter. So I guess it was like the coconut holes, but it's a really dark brown. And I had a cat who was having urinary issues. This was way back before I knew anything holistic. And I couldn't see the blood in the urine because it was such a dark brown litter. So I'm not doing that again either. I need to be able to see what's going on in the litter box. I also don't like litter robots because you need to be monitoring what's going on in the litter box, in my opinion. You need to know that they're urinating every day. You need to make sure there's not blood in the urine. You need to see what's going on with their stool. Because again, they're really, really, really good at hiding things from us. They don't want anyone to know that they're not feeling well because just genetically, they don't, that they're predators in the wild. They don't want you to know. But again, everything you do has to be approved by your cat. None of this matters if your cat isn't going to use it. So use what your cat is willing to use, and just be as mindful as possible. But litter boxes are a huge source of anxiety for cats. I mean, litter box avoidance is huge. It's one of the top reasons cats are relinquished to shelters, and I hate that because we're more than likely we have put them in that either there's a medical issue or we have put them in a position that it's uncomfortable for them to use the litter box. So I always have to remind people that we have to rule out medical issues first and foremost, and then look at litter boxes, litter box placement, and the actual litter that they're using. And I think I kind of covered a lot of this. I don't want the litter box next to food or water. That's not natural for them either. Anything else on here? Lower traffic areas. I also don't want them in a closet. I see people do this a lot too, but cats, like, they have a really, really good sense of smell. And if you are like trapping that smell in a closet, they don't like it any more than we do. So that can cause avoidance
I
as
love how
well.
you said plastic boxes can hold bacteria.
Yes. I have slowly been transitioning my boxes to metal litter boxes, because I think plastic litter, yes, we need to clean them regularly. We need to be like literally emptying the litter, washing them out, cleaning them very regularly because they do, plastic is porous. It holds on to all the nasty things. But if we are using a plastic litter box, my preference is to replace them once a year so that, I mean, plastic isn't meant to live forever. I know like so many people, even my mom, she has plastic like Tupperware that she's had since before I was born. And I'm like, nah, I ain't eating or drinking out of
No,
that.
not at all. Yeah, why not use Pyrex?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like in the kitchen? Oh, for sure.
For the litter box. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you got like a deep dish pan made out of Pyrex.
Yeah. I mean, if you could find something big enough, I think too many litter boxes are too small. In fact, I think most litter boxes on the market are too small for our cats.
I know
Um,
I don't, my cat doesn't use one, but in the
yeah.
winter, she comes and goes whenever she wants. And
Mhm.
if the weather is a little intense, she'll come and she has her own bedroom. Um, and she'll hang out there. And I had a hard time finding a very large litter box. They are
Mhm.
just like these tiny little shoebox,
Yeah.
convenient sizes. And I just kept thinking, wow, she has to be pretty strategic in
Mhm.
positioning herself with that.
Yeah. I know Jay and Adrian talk a lot about using the big, like, I don't know how many gallon, like, Rubbermaid totes. And they just like cut an entrance into it so they don't have to like jump into it. They can actually get into it. Um, and so those are big enough, but you're not going to find something that big that's sold as a litter box,
Right.
which is really unfortunate.
You,
But
you could probably grab like one of those low feeders for chickens or
mm,
sheep is those metal like stainless steel feeders.
mhm.
Yeah, water troughs or something like that. And they're pretty low.
Yeah, that would be good. Because I think especially as our cats age, the lower entrances are going to be better. Especially if they start having like arthritis, joint pain, and things like that. You don't want a barrier to entry with like the high-sided litter boxes and things like that. But yeah, it's certainly it's more of a problem than people realize. Um, Absolutely causing litter box avoidance issues, especially in older cats. Because the thing is, and this is something that I talked to Jay and Adrian about a lot, is that like your cats will put up with a lot of things for a long time. And as they get older, just like with us, we're less willing to put up with things. So when people are like, my cat's always been fine with it, and all of a sudden they're not fine with it, they probably weren't fine with it. They were putting up with it, and now they're just done putting up with it. At some point, they're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm too old. We're not doing this. Um, Yeah, so litter boxes are like a big pet peeve of mine, and keeping them clean is another big pet peeve of mine. I clean my litter boxes 6, 8 times a day. Like, I'm not that person that's like, I'll check them once a day and they'll be fine. Like, I'm constantly cleaning my litter boxes. If I see somebody has gone to the litter box, or if somebody is in the litter box, I will stop what I'm doing and wait. Because, I mean, why would you expect them to use it again if it's dirty? You shouldn't expect that. So I'm really, really big on keeping the litter boxes clean. We talked about this a little bit, but the hunt, stalk, kill, eat, clean, sleep, that's their um like the sequence of events that cats in the wild will do. They want to hunt something. Like, that's very natural for them. That's part of the play that we should be doing with them. We should be letting them stalk whatever toys we're playing with them, let them catch it, feed them. They will then clean themselves and go to sleep. So this is one of the things that you can do, especially if you have a cat that likes to wake you up in the middle of the night. Go through this sequence with them right before you're going to bed, and let them kind of wear themselves out to where they're naturally ready to go to sleep when you're ready to go to sleep. And that can be really beneficial for letting you sleep through the night as well.
That's awesome.
Yes. So we've kind of talked, we kind of talked a little bit about all of this. I can, like I said, I have a PDF if you guys want it. Um, I always think two cats are better than one, especially when we're talking about like separation anxiety, giving your cat another animal to engage with and play with can be really helpful and beneficial. I think even with cats, though I do probably see it a little bit more in dogs, but even with cats, as you have an aging pet, getting them a kitten can be, or a puppy can be kind of like, I don't know. And certainly you want to take your pet's individual needs into account, but a lot of times it can really give them another like boost that you didn't expect for them to have so late in life, to where like they are acting like a puppy or a kitten again. And that can also be really helpful and beneficial. Again, take your pet's individual needs into consideration when you're thinking of doing something like that, because it's not going to be for every dog or cat, but it can be beneficial for some of them. And you know, vet visits are something that I am always on the fence of. I am the worst at like deciding if my pet needs to go to the vet. I think there are definitely some things that we need to do for our pets, and I do think it is very important to regularly have their blood work done. One thing that I have really been talking to a lot of people about is making sure that you are getting their blood work done when they're younger. Even though most veterinarians I have gone to and talked to are like, they're young, they're healthy, don't worry about it. We start doing their blood work as they age, once they hit those like senior years, as long as nothing comes up before then. But getting their blood work done when they're younger gives you a good baseline to be able to reference when something does go wrong, or as they do age and get into their senior years. And you do that first blood test, and your vet's like, oh man, their kidney values are high. Well, let's look at what their baseline was prior to now and see if they really are high, because there are certainly some, especially for us in like the healthy pet space, when we are feeding our dogs and cats a species appropriate diet, our what the veterinarians look at for what is average, what is normal on all of the blood work is based on kibble fed animals. And so raw fed animals will oftentimes have variations in that blood work. So sometimes people get really freaked out, and then they're like, I'm like, well, your dog is raw fed, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Like, there were certain things that we really need to take into account. And when we have a baseline to look off of, um, that I think can be very helpful for us to like not freak out when like something is a little out of whack on blood panels. Um, yeah, we can talk. Do you want to talk about species appropriate foods for
Of
cats or? Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, because you know how long your presentation is. But I love that, a baseline blood work on a healthy animal. I think it's really smart because cats get so stressed out at the vet that it throws off their numbers too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I love having my vet come to my home and do this. It's a a privilege that I have. I know that. But I do think it can help with our animals. They're still going to be nervous and freaked out, but I think to a much lesser degree when the veterinarian is able to come into the home. But as I was mentioning earlier with our cats, they are obligate carnivores and they are desert animals. So they just naturally don't drink a lot. They need to get their moisture from their food. And as obligate carnivores, they have to eat a meat-based diet to get all of the amino acid profiles that their body can't make on its own. So I am a very, very big proponent, even more so than for dogs, for cats to eat a raw food diet. And we can talk a lot about complete and balanced. That's a whole thing. I know we started off talking a little bit about AFCO. I don't necessarily agree with all of their profiles and what they consider to be complete and balanced because it is based on synthetics, vitamins, and minerals being added into human food waste. Like it just doesn't translate into feeding real food. However, I think there are some companies that are meeting those complete and balanced requirements and doing it in a really healthy way with a lot, like really organ heavy recipes that I really, really like. So, feeding our cats a meat-based diet that is heavy on organs. I would prefer bone in it. I mean, eggshell calcium is okay. I know there are a lot of cats that will do better on on eggshells than ground bone just because of the texture. Cats are they imprint their texture really early on in life, which makes it difficult later in life to transition them. Not impossible, but more difficult. If nothing else, I want to get a cat off of a dry food diet and onto a wet food diet, even if that is just a canned food. Um, and then if we can do like a freeze dried food that we rehydrate, again, moisture is so important for our cats because they're just, I mean, they're going to drink some water. There is no way they're going to drink enough water to hydrate their bodies. So hydration is definitely for dogs and cats, a hill I will always die on, making sure they are hydrated because nothing in the body is going to work properly if it's not hydrated. And something that I don't think I put in here but I am really, really big on remineralizing our water if we're or if we're giving filtered water, which we should be giving filtered water because Lord knows our tap water is just not healthy for us. But adding minerals back into it so that we are actually absorbing and hydrating our bodies. Very, very important. Unless they're getting it from their food, which is actually how cats should be getting their moisture and is in their food and their diet. So yeah.
Jessica, what do you mineralize your water with?
I've just been using trace minerals. I think that's like literally the brand is trace. Yeah. I add that into my water and my dog's water and my cat's water because I get spring water, non-fluoridated spring water, and just add the minerals back. Like I think there's probably better waters. Hydrogen water, I think, is something that is on my radar to look into, but also something that like I don't have the bandwidth for at the moment. So
Right. And we had a water expert on the membership, and she does vortex water where you just spin it and you create like a little tornado in the water.
oh yeah.
Bizarrely, it changes the flavor of the water.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is crazy. So she wasn't high on the hydrogen. She doesn't like manipulating water like that, but she does love like oxygenating it with a vortex spin.
Ooh,
Totally different taste.
wow.
Mind-boggling. You
That's
can't use
crazy.
metal though. Don't use metal spoon. Use wood or glass or
Mhm.
something like that. But yeah, give that a go. I'm lucky enough to have well water. It's a little high in calcium, so I kind of swap up between purified spring and well with the animals. I personally don't drink the well water unless I boil it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that is important to look at. In fact, I was just with a client, and it was a dog client, um, who I had them do the parsley pet test, and her copper came back really high. And I'm looking at literally everything that this dog is eating, and I'm like, there is no way this copper should be high. And I'm like, we need to get your water tested because I don't see where else this could be coming from. It's something that we don't think about, but you bringing up that it, is high in calcium, it's a thing. Like we need to be paying attention to it.
So I personally got toxic off copper, and copper pipes are throughout houses.
Hmm.
So absolutely, it might not even be in the water. It might
Right. Just
just be
the,
in the piping.
hmm yeah. But I mean, if she's going to test test the water, even if it is in the pipe, then we'll know. And I can, get her to, I don't know, buy or order water or something.
Yeah, and you could probably get a filter that will filter
Mhm.
out something excessive like that. I'm sure there's like a
Yeah.
reverse osmosis filter that'll just pull everything out.
Yeah. And then when we think about that, like you were saying, like if the dog is experiencing it, the pet parents probably are too. So we, you know, just figuring all these things out, knowing what to look for. Um, I don't know what slide number I'm on, but we'll see if I can.
You are on 12.
Okay. Well, not over vaccinating. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, titer testing. Um, these are some side effects from vaccines that I know I've experienced side effects from vaccines in my cats before and in my dogs. I had a dog who actually got cancer from a vaccine, and you could feel it growing right there on the spot where she was vaccinated. And I had a cat one time, or two different cats, as a matter of fact, who were vaccinated and literally, like, they were so lethargic, I thought they were dying. The two different cats, two different occasions. I literally thought they were dying because they were so lethargic, like couldn't lift their heads, lethargic. It's serious and something that our veterinarians I don't think, take enough consideration for.
Horses get the same way.
I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I am sure. Flea and tick. I'm sure you've had people on here talking about flea and tick. I, in fact, had a cat who had and this was again before I was holistic. He had such bad ear infection, like his ears were just clogged and black and gross. And it was such a bad ear infection that the veterinarian wanted him to get two different doses of Revolution. Well, he got the first dose of Revolution, right here between his shoulder blades, literally gave him a chemical burn. And I called my veterinarian and he was like, well, he needs another dose. And I said, you are out of your ever loving mind. If you think I'm going to intentionally put a product on my pet that gave him a chemical burn. Like there are just so many instances like this. And I'm sure that people in your membership have had similar experiences where it's like, why are we not thinking this through? Like, how many times do we need a medical professional to give us such horrible advice before
Right.
we're like, I'm sorry, I'm not listening to you anymore?
So is that when you went more holistic? Is that where you kind of like started challenging the experts?
Um, that was definitely one of the things. It was very, like, I had multiple things happen in a very short period of time. I also, at that same time, had a dog who I adopted who had seizures. And I just on a whim decided I wanted to cook for them. and was adding fresh food to their kibble because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't want to, mess them up and imbalance all the things. And at her seizures went away, like literally went away. And I went to my veterinarian and I said, same veterinarian who was telling me to give him another thing of Revolution. And I said, well, I want to keep doing this, but I want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. I want to make sure they're getting all the nutrients they need. Can you help me? And he said, I don't know, maybe add some tomatoes.
Oh, really?
There was no bone, there was no cat. Like looking back, it was just like meat and vegetables and rice. Like that's all it was. And I'm like, okay, you can't help me. Right? Yeah. So there's so many things I feel like happened in a really short period of time that I was just like, my mind was blown. And I'm like, I've got to figure this all out for myself. And that's what I did.
And I love on this slide how you commented that Rodney discussed how all this stuff is going everywhere. It's
Yeah,
going into our water. It's our kids are picking it up. It's going all over our furniture.
it
Um,
is. It's
so
nasty.
for me, I use topical charcoal to draw it out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So whenever I have a client that has done this, I'm like, charcoal, pack your pet in charcoal.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
It can
For
save their
sure.
lives.
For sure. Just more information on flea and tick meds are in here from Dr. Judy Morgan. And the fact that our governmental agencies, our regulatory agencies, both here and in Europe, know. They know that this is what's happening to our animals and they're not doing anything about it. Nothing. Um, yeah, more
That makes
side
me feel so helpless, right? Because
effects.
even in this Purina debacle, FDA is partnered with Purina and is withholding information and not being honest about it. And so it just feels so scandalous and that our hands are tied.
Yeah, it really does. And one of the things that I like to tell people when I talk about side effects, I don't care what drug we're talking about. I learned that so my degree is in psychology, and one of my teachers said this to me, or said this to the class, and it has stuck with me for I don't know how many years now, but he said side effects are the effects of a drug that the manufacturer doesn't want you to pay attention to. So this is what the drug is doing to your body, but they don't want you to pay attention to it. So they put it in tiny little letters and say, oh, they're just side effects. Like, we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to pay attention to that. Right. So it's the first thing I want to know is what are the side effects? Because those are also effects of the drug and they matter. So I've got I have a lot of alternatives to flea and tick. I personally, one of my biggest alternatives is feeding a species appropriate diet. The healthier our animals are, the better functioning their immune system is. They are not ideal hosts for fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, for heartworm, they're not ideal hosts when they're healthy. So the healthier we can make our animals, the better. Feeding a species appropriate diet, not over vaccinating, not, cleaning up the environment they live in, not using toxins, keeping them super healthy is like the best prevention for fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, in my opinion. I'm also really intentional about the plants that I plant around my home. So um, catnip, rosemary, lemongrass, lavender. These are things that I'm planting around my home that are natural pest control. So, and then I also use veterinary grade essential oils topically. I like things like Wondercide or Wonderful. Animalio is one of my favorite things you can use. I also feed garlic. I think I feed it to my dog because she goes outside. If your cats go outside, let's break the internet and like Dr. Judy did and let everybody know that you can actually feed garlic to cats too. Much smaller doses, but still, like they're gonna be fine. And it's very, very effective. Um, so one thing that I will leave you with, and this is probably a little bit more woo-woo, but I am definitely a little woo-woo, is to talk to your cats and honor them as individuals. Not just talk to your cats, but try to talk with your cats. And I know that's a little out there for some people. I don't expect them to literally speak English to me. But what I will tell you, and this just happened to me a few weeks ago, my cat with osteosarcoma, I had a conversation with him one night and I said, I know this has to be really hard on you. And I know that you're probably being very brave for me, but when you are ready, let me know and be very obvious about it. And the next morning, everything changed. He was ready. And so don't discount the bond that you have with your animals and talk to them.
I totally believe that they can understand. And I think they communicate in many different ways, pictures, smells, actual words and vibrations,
Yeah.
things like that. I had a very similar experience with a horse of mine.
Mm.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
more of a pet prayer process. So I pray to God and make it obvious, and bam, like you, the very next day it was obvious. There was no getting better at that point. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your time. That was really great. It it makes me think because I don't use any flea or tick products on my barn cat, none whatsoever. And I've never noticed anything on her. And as you're talking about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky that here she eats mice and voles. And I watched her try to kill some birds today. And she's rummaging around everywhere all the time, all day.
Yeah.
And gosh, she's never really had fleas or ticks or anything.
Yeah, she's so healthy. Like, why would they want to be like, they're not gonna thrive on her, right? They're just not.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because when I make the horse's grain up in their grain bucket, she literally climbs in it and licks the herbs out. And
Oh,
I'm like,
interesting.
and it's grain. I don't want her eating the grain. I'm like, oh, she's addicted to grain is my first instinct. And then I'm like, no, she's actually eating the herbs too, though. So I kind of let her do it a little bit. I do no soats for the horses, the cat, and the dog. So we do like Bartonella and rabies and lepto and stuff like that, which I haven't done it with her for a while. So I probably should. Now that she's eating out the horse feed, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't let her do that because horses do get toxoplasmosis and they
Mm.
do get Bartonella. So, um, yeah, I shouldn't let her do that. But maybe, so I do a charcuterie board for my cat with
Yeah.
herbs
Oh,
around
yeah.
the outside. And so she can eat whatever she wants or leave whatever, but I don't ever mix it in.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. Let her just choose what she wants and needs. They're so much smarter than we give them credit for. Like,
Yeah.
just let them choose what they want and need. And generally they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are really interesting. They're very different. They're so intelligent, but also crazy judgmental. So yeah, it's a very like cat training, wooing, seducing type situation. Like I love that you went and saw the big cats and they were still in boxes.
Yep. It's amazing. It's
That is,
amazing.
I'm shocked by that. And now, I don't have any boxes for my barn cat. Now I'm thinking, oh, I probably should put some boxes out there.
I know. There's like this one video, it circulates every once in a while, and it's like a string, like they're pulling a train with like boxes attached by string, and it's like every single box has a cat in it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, every cat likes boxes. I don't know what. It's got to be the like that it holds the body heat or something, but
It's like kind of like a womb
yeah.
comfort, like little cubby, like
Yeah. And they
security.
can kind of like get down into it some, if it's tall enough and hide because they want to, because they're predators, right? Like they want to like jump
Yeah.
out and get you.
Okay, when I feed my cat tonight, I'm taking her a box and I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll shoot you a photo if she like suddenly jumps in it and goes to sleep in it.
Yeah, you'll like walk out there in the morning and find her in it or something.
And I'm super grateful.
She,
She does drink a lot of water. So
hmm,
yeah, I was
good.
actually shocked that she drank so much water. I was a little alarmed. I was not feeding her enough water at all because she was drinking so much. I'm like, is that normal? Like, is that okay? But she seems fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as she's fine. I mean, all the things. Make sure she's not diabetic or anything, but she's probably not. It sounds like she's very healthy.
Yeah, she's only 3. So she's very scrappy. I was nervous letting her be a barn cat, but she was a Mexican street cat. So I was like, well, you're on your own, sweetie.
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like you've got like a really nice property where she's safe, mostly.
Yeah,
There are
I do
always
worry about her, and she will scream
predators.
for help if she's in trouble. Like there's been plenty of times where she'll scream and I'll flip on the outside lights and whatever's trying to attack her will leave. And then she kind of marches up to me and thanks me for it. She's like, yeah.
Aw.
I'm like, you're so tough.
Aw. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure I exceeded I don't know how long you normally go. I'm sorry, but
No,
um,
we're fine. We anywhere between 45 minutes, but a lot of people go for an hour and a half just through the chit chat and the
yeah.
conversation. Jessica, how do people get a hold of you?
I am at the pet parenting reset pretty much anywhere. Instagram is my favorite place. I'm really bad at Facebook. TikTok, I'll do TikTok, but Instagram is my favorite place. And then I have the podcast, the Pet Parenting Reset. I would love for people to listen. I really get some amazing guests on there. In fact, talking about different modalities, tomorrow's episode is with Dr. Megan Barrett. We're talking about sound therapy, which is fascinating to me because it's something that pet parents can do like at home for free almost.
That like with the bowls
So
or
she does bowls, and she was also talking about learning, like you can look up online where the acupressure points are and buy like a set of tuning forks and use tuning forks on acupressure points. Um, which is really interesting. And I was asking her like if it would work on lipomas because I really struggle with like for the most part, they're not like it's stagnation, right, in the body. So I'm thinking, okay, could a tuning fork, that sound therapy kind of move the stagnant energy through the body? And she's like, I never tried it, but maybe.
I will. I don't, thank God, I don't have a lot of lipomas, but it makes sense. And I always up milk thistle because I just feel like the body's not breaking down fats.
Yeah, yeah. And I think milk thistle can be hard to get into cats. And that's where I interestingly find the most issue with lipomas is with because they're so hard to supplement to begin with. And herbs seem to be the best um at dissolving lipomas. And it's just so hard to get herbs into
So I'm going
into
to tell you a hack on this is you rub it on them and they have to lick it off.
they will have to
So
lick it off.
most of my cats will eat milk thistle out of my hand. So I haven't owned a ton of cats. I'm not like this cat guru, but I'll just put it in my hand and hand it to them and they just like eat it right out.
Wow.
Like, there you go. And they
Wow. You know what? I've
like
actually
a lot
never.
of it.
Yeah, I'm always like, I gotta get this in you. And no, like, yeah, just see if they'll eat it. That's so interesting.
Yeah, make it simple.
Make it simple.
Make it
I love
really,
that.
really simple. You can
I
do
love,
the cat cootery board, or
yeah,
you just dust it on their paws and they'll get offended and they'll lick it off.
they absolutely will get offended, but they will have to lick anything off that you put on their paws or on their fur. So that's a good, good tip. Yeah,
That's my hack, my cat hack. That's the only cat hack I have.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the pet parenting reset and yeah, I mean I'm super passionate about nutrition, so that's kind of where my
Well, and you do one-on-ones,
I
one-on-one consultations.
I do. I do. And I really like cats are always a challenge and I like challenges. So, anytime I can help somebody transition them to a better food, especially, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Can
Because
be
they just,
frustrating though. I know a lot of people just flat out give up because of
yeah.
the waiting, the patience, the
Mhm.
yeah, it doesn't, it's not like a dog at all.
No, it's not at all because cats will starve themselves and dogs will not. You can wait out a dog. Do not wait out a cat. They will starve themselves and it will not end pretty. So don't do that, please.
Good advice. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jessica. I really appreciate you coming on today. Next week, we are going to have Greg Tilford coming on talking about herbal dewormers for pets and horses.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How exciting. Well, thank you, Poppy. I really appreciate it. And I hope your members enjoyed it.